Dr. Seuss's The Sneetches is absolutely adorable. I thought this was a beautiful experience. This was released this year in 2025. It's just a feature-length film, an animated feature film of about 45 minutes, so borderline feature-length, perfect timing to tell the story. And it's directed by Bronagh O'Hanlon, written by Dustin Ferrer, based, of course, on the characters and stories by Dr. Seuss. And we have a voice cast including Sophie Petersen, Amari McCoy, Cristina, Valenzuela, Christopher Fitzgerald, and various others. And this focuses on two Sneetches, one a star belly and one a moon belly. And I will say my experience with the Sneetches is not huge. I've watched at least one Dr. Seuss cartoon that features the Sneetches, but I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of the characters. I didn't have any expectations on how I wanted the characters to be presented, so that's worth bearing in mind. If you're a huge Dr. Seuss or Sneetches fan, you might have different expectations, but I went into it not really looking for anything specific, and I really loved these characters. And they're not supposed to be friends, and this is because star bellies and moon bellies don't usually get along. They live in separate parts of the island, and they actually come together and, despite their differences, become friends and are able to deliver some wonderful messages about celebrating those differences rather than using them to separate people. And obviously that's such an important story, particularly for children, for anybody of any age, though. I feel like everybody can be reminded that different isn't necessarily a bad thing. And certainly for children, I think that's a really, really solid message, and they did a great job of delivering it. What I thought was actually quite interesting about this is that the children were questioning why they weren't allowed to be friends with star bellies or moon bellies. And the children were the ones who were basically confused as to why this is a thing. But when they questioned it, the adults couldn't give them a valid reason other than we're better than them. And I love that. I love the fact that it was showing that there is no valid reason for it. And I think that was a really, really brilliant thing to include. The animation is stunning. It is so beautiful. It is so gorgeous to look at. Really great attention to detail. Gorgeous colours. The water looks amazing. I'm quite fussy when it comes to water being animated, and the water here I thought was absolutely beautiful. It's really nice to listen to. The voice acting is brilliant. The voices, in my opinion, fit the characters really well, and the characters are really sweet, very likeable as well. We have some gorgeous music, and I will say it didn't feel as maybe bonkers as some Dr. Seuss stories, which is neither a criticism nor a compliment, just an observation. But I feel like some Dr. Seuss stories are written in a way that's almost nonsensical with the language, and it sounds beautiful to listen to, but sometimes it's just more about the language and the sounds rather than the narrative itself, which again, that's not a complaint either. But this one has a much more solid narrative. While it feels like a Dr. Seuss story, if you were to watch this without really knowing it was Dr. Seuss, it might not be immediately apparent. So if you're not a huge fan of Dr. Seuss, I'd say still give it a go, because while it does in some way feel Dr. Seuss-y, in some ways it doesn't, and I think it's maybe toned down a little bit compared with some, and I think they did a really great job with it. It's a beautiful story, great messages, adorable characters, such beautiful animation. I had a lot of fun with this, and while I would have liked it to have been longer because I really enjoyed it, as I said, I think they told the story in the perfect length of time. And if it sounds like a film for you, then obviously I think Dr. Seuss's The Sneetches is definitely worth watching.